My name's Michael. I'm 58. And for the last 33 years, I thought I had a solid life. A wife who loved me. A house we built from scratch. 2 grown kids already out of the house. I own a small but successful auto shop in Ohio. Nothing fancy, just honest work, grease on my hands, and cold beers in the fridge. My wife, her name's Kelly, worked part-time at a dental office and made a killer chicken pot pie every other Sunday. I thought we were the kind of couple that just made it. You know? No drama. No games. Just 2 people growing old together. Then I had a heart attack. Not a big one, but enough to scare me straight. My doctor told me I needed a procedure, simple valve work, in and out in 2 days. So I booked it, got a buddy from the shop to drive me to the hospital, and Kelly promised to be there when I woke up. She kissed me on the forehead. Told me she loved me. Said she'd bring my favorite hoodie and some damn good meatloaf when I got home. That was on a Monday. By Tuesday afternoon, the nurse came in and said I was cleared to go home. 1 day early. Great news, right? I texted Kelly, but it didn't go through. No big deal. I figured she was driving or had left her phone in her purse again. I signed the discharge papers, thanked the nurses, and called a cab. I remember thinking how good it'd feel to sit on my recliner again, drink ginger ale, and just rest. I didn't know my world was about to collapse. It was cloudy that day. Gray skies. No birds. Just that thick, heavy silence Ohio gets before it rains. The cab pulled into our driveway around 2:15. Her car was there. Good, I thought. She's home. I paid the driver, stepped out, and noticed the front door was unlocked. That was unusual. Kelly was paranoid about locking up, even if she was just in the backyard. I figured maybe she'd gone out back and forgot. I stepped inside. First thing I noticed? The house smelled off. Like perfume. But not the kind Kelly usually wears. This was heavy. Sweeter. New. The second thing I noticed? Silence. No TV. No music. Just quiet. I walked into the living room. Nothing. Kitchen, empty. Dishes from breakfast still in the sink. Half a cup of coffee, cold. Her favorite mug. Then I heard it. A thump. Not loud. But enough to stop me in my tracks. Came from upstairs. My heart skipped. Not because I was afraid, because I knew. There's a kind of silence a house has when something's wrong. This was that silence. I climbed the stairs slowly. Every step felt like a mile. I could hear something now. Not voices. Just movement. Like someone trying not to be heard. I got to the top and stood in the hallway, listening. Then, a whisper. Female. Muffled. Then a laugh. Male. Low. Familiar? Maybe. I don't know. I moved toward our bedroom door. It was half closed. Just enough to hide what was inside. I reached out. My fingers touched the handle. Cold metal. I pushed gently. The door creaked. She didn't see me at first. Neither did he. They were tangled. Her back to me. His face buried in her neck. Sheets pushed down. Legs bare. My side of the bed, occupied. I didn't say a word. Didn't yell. Didn't burst in. I just stood there. My heart didn't race. My chest didn't hurt. I felt something colder than pain. Emptiness. A kind of silence inside me I'd never felt before. Kelly turned. Her eyes locked onto mine. She froze. He did too. And then, just like that, she said the words I'll never forget. It's not what it looks like. Can you imagine that? A man comes home from heart surgery to find his wife of 33 years in bed with another man, and that's what she says? Not "I'm sorry." Not "please, let me explain." Just, "It's not what it looks like." I looked at her. Then at him. He was younger. Maybe early 40s. Athletic build. Wore one of those smart watches. Had the smug look of someone who didn't think he'd get caught. Not in this house. Not in my bed. I turned. Walked out. Didn't slam the door. Didn't scream. I walked down the stairs. Slowly. Like an old man. Which I guess, in that moment, I was. At the bottom, I stopped. Looked at the family photo on the wall. Me, Kelly, our 2 kids. Christmas in Vermont. We were smiling. I took it off the hook. Set it face down on the side table. And I walked out. That night, I slept in the break room at my shop. Curled up on the same old couch the guys use when pulling overtime. I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I just stared at the ceiling and thought, what do I do next? I didn't go back home the next day. Or the day after that. I stayed at the shop. The couch was stiff. The room smelled like oil and old pizza boxes. But it was quiet. And it was mine. Nobody asked questions. My crews used to me disappearing for a couple nights after a surgery. I told them I needed to rest. That was the truth, just not the whole truth. I spent hours just sitting in the dark. No music. No TV. Just silence and the hum of the old fridge. I didn't need noise. I needed clarity. I thought about her. About us. 33 years. Birthdays. Vacations. Dinners where we laughed. Fights where we cried. Silent mornings. Late night drives. Everything. I tried to remember the last time she looked at me like I was the only man in the room. I couldn't. And that told me more than anything else. I didn't text her. Didn't call. I knew if I did, she'd either lie, or cry, or both. And I didn't want to hear either. Instead, I started thinking. And when I think, I plan. Wednesday morning, I drove to a diner off Route 19. Nobody I knew goes there. Just truckers and travelers passing through. I ordered black coffee. Eggs, over easy. Rye toast, no butter. When the waitress walked away, I pulled out my phone. I didn't scroll social media. I opened the camera roll. And I deleted every single photo of her. Gone. Then I made a new folder. I named it, A Truth. I didn't know what I'd fill it with yet. But I knew I would. Around 10 a.m., I drove back to our neighborhood. Not home, just nearby. I parked a block away. Sat in the truck. Watched the street. It was quiet. Typical suburb. Lawns trimmed. Flags on porches. The kind of place where people wave just because they see you. Around 10:42, a grey Toyota pulled into my driveway. Same car from that day. He stepped out first. Baseball cap. Tight t-shirt. Smirk. Then Kelly came out the door. Hair down. Glass of something in her hand. They kissed. Right there. On my front porch. I didn't take a picture. Not yet. I just watched. Watched him walk into my house. Watched her close the door behind him. And I sat there, in my truck, while the woman I married entertained her boyfriend under our roof. I didn't feel rage. Not yet. I felt confirmation. That's when the plan began. First thing I did was contact a lawyer. Not a friend. Not someone cheap. I hired a shark. Clean office. No nonsense suit. Looked me in the eye and said, if you want clean, we'll go clean. If you want blood, I'll make her bleed. I said, let's keep it clean. For now. Then I told him everything. He took notes. Asked sharp questions. Told me what to look for, what to document, what to expect. He smiled when I mentioned the house was in my name only. Said, that's good. Very good. Next, I bought 2 things. A GoPro. And a digital voice recorder. I hid the recorder in the hallway closet. Right near the stairs. And I placed the GoPro in the garage, angled toward the back door. I made sure the batteries were charged, the memory cards clean. I went home Thursday morning. Walked in like nothing ever happened. Kelly was in the kitchen. Making tea. She froze when she saw me. I smiled. Morning, I said. Doctor said I should be home. She blinked. You didn't text me. No signal at the hospital. Thought I'd surprise you. She didn't say anything else. Just nodded. Went back to her tea. I walked past her. Up the stairs. Into the bedroom. The bed was made. Too perfect. I opened the closet. My shirts were still there. I checked the drawers. My socks. My wallet. My watch. Everything untouched. Like I'd never left. But the air smelled different. Like someone had tried to erase something. Over the next week, I played the game. I kissed her good morning. Asked about her day. Talked about bills, about the shop, about the neighbor's barking dog. She smiled. Laughed. Even tried to cook. But her eyes, they never quite met mine. And when she touched me, it felt rehearsed. She thought I didn't know. She thought I believed her silence was guilt, not deception. But every day, while I left for work, I parked nearby. And I listened. The recorder picked up muffled voices. Laughter. Once, a moan. The GoPro caught him twice. Once entering. Once leaving. Same smirk. Same confidence. Like he owned the place. Like I didn't exist. I kept all the files. Labeled them by date. I didn't watch them more than once. I didn't need to. I knew what I was going to do. I just needed the right time. On Sunday morning, I made pancakes. Blueberries. Her favorite. She came downstairs in that same old robe I bought her for Christmas 5 years ago. I poured her coffee. She smiled. Thank you, she said. Like everything was fine. Like we were fine. I looked at her hands. No ring. She stopped wearing it. Probably forgot I'd notice. But I did. I noticed everything now. Later that afternoon, she said she was going to visit her sister. I nodded. Said, drive safe. She left in a hurry. Didn't even take her phone charger. I watched her go from the upstairs window. And I waited. An hour later, the gray Toyota rolled up. Right on time. He didn't knock. He had a key. Of course he did. I didn't storm in. Didn't shout. Didn't interrupt. I let them have their day. Because I had mine coming. And I wasn't going to waste it on noise. I was going to make it count. I grew up playing chess with my grandfather. He taught me something I never forgot. A good move isn't loud, he'd say. It's quiet. Precise. And it always comes 2 steps before your opponent even knows what's happening. That lesson stayed with me. And now? It was time to use it. The first piece I moved was a phone call. Not to her. To a friend of mine. Gary. He used to be a cop. Now he runs security for a corporate firm downtown. He still has contacts. Still knows how to pull strings. I asked him one question. Can you find out who owns a gray 2017 Toyota Camry, license plate ending in 9XR? He didn't ask why. Just said, give me an hour. 45 minutes later, I had a name. Bradley Owen Carter. Age, F41. Occupation, a real estate agent. Divorced. No kids. Lives about 20 minutes south of us. I checked his name online. Nice website. Slick smile. Lots of 5-star reviews from women with names like Tina and Heather. Yeah. He had a type. Next move? I created a fake profile. Used a stock photo. Named myself Lena K, single mom looking for a new home. I messaged him through his business page. Told him I was relocating. Needed something private. Secluded. Fast. He responded within 20 minutes. Hey Lena. I'd be happy to help, smiling face. Classic. While he was busy chasing Lena, I was at the county clerk's office. Pulling property records. A house, thankfully, was in my name. Bought it before we were married. Never updated the deed. That was about to become very important. I also pulled phone records. Bank statements. Turns out, Kelly had opened a new credit card. Under her maiden name. She thought I wouldn't notice. But I did. Charges at fancy restaurants I'd never been to. Hotel bookings. A jewelry store. Not once for me. All for him. Piece by piece, the board was coming together. But I needed more. I needed leverage. So I waited for the right day. And when it came, I made my move. It was Thursday. Kelly left in the morning. Said she was going to her volunteer group. Sure. I waited until the house was empty. Then I invited a guest. My lawyer. We walked through the place. Room by room. I showed him everything. The GoPro. The audio recorder. The files on my laptop. The credit card bills. He took notes. Photos. Recorded his own statement. Then he looked at me and said, "You're doing this the right way. Controlled. Clean. Exactly what I wanted." The next day, I visited Brad's office. I didn't tell him who I was. I just stood across the parking lot and watched. He came out with a client. Put his hand on her back. Laughed at something she said. Same smug smile. The guy had no idea I was 5 steps ahead. That I already had everything I needed to end him. And her. That night, I went home. Kelly was there. Watching one of those reality shows she liked. I sat beside her. She looked nervous. Like she felt the pressure building. But she didn't say anything. Neither did I. Not yet. I waited 3 more days. 3 long, calculated days. Then I printed a folder. Inside, screenshots of text messages from the burner phone I'd intercepted. Pictures from the GoPro. A timeline of her charges on the secret credit card. A typed letter from my lawyer. I sealed it in an envelope. Left it on the kitchen table. And went to the garage. Started the engine. Backed out. And drove away. She called me 12 minutes later. I didn't answer. She left 5 voicemails. I didn't listen. An hour later, she sent me a text. Just 3 words. Please come home. I didn't. I spent the night at the shop again. Same couch. Same ceiling tiles. But this time, I slept. Not well. But deep enough. Because I knew what was coming next. When I got up the next morning, I checked my email. There it was. A message from her. Subject line, I need to talk. I didn't open it. I forwarded it to my lawyer. Then I brewed a cup of black coffee, sat back in my chair, and waited for my final move. Because when you play chess, you don't shout. You don't swing wildly. You wait. And when the board is right, you take the queen. Monday morning. 6:12 a.m. I was already awake. Hadn't really slept. The kind of night where your eyes are closed, but your mind is wide open. I watched the sun rise from the break room window at the shop. Orange sky. Soft wind. A new day. A very different day. Because today was payback. I drove home just after 7. The streets were quiet. Mailboxes full. Sprinklers ticking in slow rhythm. I pulled into the driveway. Her car was there. No sign of his. Good. I wanted her full attention. When I walked inside, she was in the kitchen. Same robe. Same fake smile. Coffee brewing. Like everything was normal. Like she hadn't destroyed everything we built. Morning, she said. Voice shaky. Eyes puffy. I nodded. Didn't answer. Just walked to the table. Sat down. Dropped an envelope in front of me. She did the same. Her version of a confession, maybe. Or a plea. I didn't open it. Just looked at her. Let the silence fill the room. Let it suffocate her. I made a mistake, she whispered. Still trying that line. Still pretending it was just one. I waited. No reaction. No response. Just cold eyes. And a still hand. Then I said the words I'd been holding. Carefully. Plainly. No drama. No raised voice. You can leave today. Or we do this the hard way. She blinked. What? You heard me. Her lips trembled. I live here too, Mike. This is my home. No. I slid a copy of the deed across the table. This is my home. Bought it before we married. Never added your name. Her face went pale. She reached for something to say. I didn't let her speak. I have documents. Photos. Audio. Dates. Times. Witness statements. Enough to bury you in court. She didn't argue. Because she knew. I wasn't bluffing. And she was out of options. I stood. Walked to the sink. Poured her coffee down the drain. Didn't say a word. Just watched the dark liquid swirl and vanish. Then I turned. Brad's boss got an email this morning. From an anonymous account. With attachments. Her mouth opened slightly. No sound. Just the slow realization sinking in. I nodded. Don't worry. I was polite. Told them he was bringing unauthorized visitors into client properties. Sent screenshots. Audio. Video. Pretty sure his license will be under review by Friday. She covered her mouth. Whispered something. I didn't care. I was done listening. I've already filed for divorce, I added. Uncontested. Clean break. You sign, we part. No court. She looked like she wanted to scream. But didn't. Because deep down, she still hoped she could twist this. Make herself the victim. But I wasn't giving her that chance. She asked, "Where will I go?" I stared at her. Dead in the eyes. That's not my problem. At noon, she left. 2 suitcases. No goodbyes. No tears from me. She got in her car. Pulled out of the driveway. And I stood at the window. Watched her fade from view. Just like the years she wasted. Gone. By 2 p.m., I had a locksmith change every lock. By 5, the Wi-Fi password. By 6, the security system. It was no longer her home. It never really was. Bradley? He didn't take it well. Apparently, losing 3 listings in one day hurts. Especially when the reason gets posted, anonymously, of course, on a local real estate forum. With proof. Clients pulled back. His name? Ruined. Reputation? Sinking. And me? I didn't say a word. Didn't post a thing. Didn't even gloat. I just watched. Silently. Sipping black coffee. From my kitchen. In my house. Alone. But not broken. That night, I went to bed early. Slept on my side. Pillow fluffed. Fan humming softly. I closed my eyes. And exhaled. For the first time in weeks, I felt peace. It's been 7 weeks. Since she left. Since I took back my home. My name. My peace. The silence feels different now. Not heavy. Not sharp. Just quiet. Comfortable. Like a soft morning after rain. I still wake up early. Old habit. 6 a.m. sharp. I brew my coffee. Black. Strong. 1 mug. No sugar. No second cup sitting across the table. No footsteps above me. No humming in the kitchen. Just me. And the steady sound of the drip. I sit by the window now. Same chair. Different view. Same trees. Same street. But now, everything feels mine. Like I've finally stopped borrowing my own life. The first week after she left, I expected pain. I waited for it. Prepared for it. It never came. Not the way I thought. No tears. No rage. Just space. Just clarity. And a long, quiet breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding for years. Funny how fast someone disappears. When you stop chasing their ghost. People at the shop started to notice. "Mike, you look lighter," one guy said. "You smiling more these days," another joked. They didn't know. They didn't need to. But they saw it. Because it was real. My daughter called me last week. She asked how I was. I said, I'm good. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. She paused. Said she was proud of me. Said Mom had called her. Tried to explain. Tried to spin it. She didn't buy it. She always underestimated you, Dad. I smiled. Yeah, I said. She did. I'm not angry anymore. Not even at Brad. Let him fix what he broke. Let him rebuild his shiny little world from the ground up. If he even can. Me? I'm done building for other people. Now I build for me. I've started cooking again. Nothing fancy. Burgers. Grilled cheese. Taught myself how to make French toast the way my mother did. Burned the first few. Nailed the fourth one. Tasted like childhood. I donated her leftover clothes. Gave away the towels she picked. Painted the bedroom. New color. New smell. New bed. Fresh start. I still hear echoes sometimes. A laugh in the hallway. The clink of a wine glass. They fade quickly. Ghosts don't last long in sunlight. People ask if I'll date again. I tell them, maybe. Someday. But not now. Now I'm relearning myself. How I move. How I rest. How I breathe. As a man no longer carrying someone else's weight. I don't need revenge anymore. I already won. Not because I hurt her. Not because I ruined him. But because I'm still here. And I'm better. This morning, I sat outside. Sun on my face. Steam rising from my mug. Birds chirping. Quiet wind moving the leaves. And for no reason at all. I smiled. Not because I had to. Not because someone was watching. But because I could. And that was enough.